Just seeing if this works. Not sure if anyone's going to be tuning in. But I'll be talking some Pulsechain and politics. We've got what's more important, the update from Pulsechain for Pulsechain, or Jacinda Ardern quitting, tapping out. Man, that's not good for the for that group of politicians who have that same sort of ideology. Maybe they thought there was two tiers of citizenry. One was vaccinated, one wasn't vaccinated. Makes me wonder. Personally, I'd like to see Justin Trudeau, I butchered that name, the guy from Canada. I would love to see him resign next. Peacefully and politically. Ding dong, the witch is dead. So then on top of that, that happened in the morning. We had massive dumps. I have no idea what was going on. It was crazy to watch. I was like watching some live stream. I'm like, 20 million being dumped at a time? That's insane. Didn't know what it was. So I thought I would continue to watch it dumping, and then go to work. So I thought I would try a different approach because I'm streaming from the shed, and I think there's actually people here. I cannot see. Let me know in the chat if audio is coming through because yeah, I'm literally streaming from my phone, from the shed. I'm not sure if I can put, you know, hey, what's happening? There's a chat, bro. Hey, what's happening? Yeah, I got my stylish balding hair. I've got some growing down here instead of at the top. But I'm streaming from the shed. Um, yeah, like I said, I'm not sure if I can put basically firearms on the stream because the YouTube might get a bit weird. Like they're all like legal and everything, but you never know. Maybe if I was gonna like clean some stuff, reload some stuff, but I thought I better not. Yeah. That's all good, man. Oh, I should have put earphones in. Uh, but yeah, I thought I'll just open up the chat and see what's happened to everyone. Yeah, the crazy, crazy, crazy politicians. I want to know why. Why are they resigning? Is it because they decided to basically go with a political ideology over, you know, data? The data didn't even exist. Why are they not? They're not good. I was watching the oh, there's funny TikTok videos and guy was like going up to the people with the wired ones and just like chopping them, and afterwards he was like handing out like brand new stuff. It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. But yeah, I thought I would just stream from here. Not much to add except that was crazy watching that dump. Oh my god, the dumping was insane. Yeah, I know. And on top of that, so half of them didn't even show up. And it's like, aren't they the ones running the world? Sort of. Oh, someone's out the front. And then, yeah. Yeah, you should see this bench, man. It's hilarious. Hang on. I've even got the, hang on. There we go. That's a bit better. Man, got the camera. Yeah, man. I feel like it was a victory for freedom seeing the, what's it called? Seeing her resign. I want to know what she knew, you know? Like, data's coming out that, oh, uh, what's the data saying? She hasn't got the energy left to continue to talk about it. Yeah, it does. I was driving around today thinking, man, I was getting cold chills. And I had to do a stream about it. Didn't know if anyone would listen, but I thought it was really good. I jumped on Twitter and it was like the Twitter echo chamber. It was just going back and forth, man. Like, It was the funniest shit. But yeah, that's about it. What else? Mm, I was cleaning some cases before, but then when I have that running, man, it's just like this. You hear this like rumbling noise in the background. It's probably not the best thing, but I thought, why not? Try the shed stream. I was gonna call it the shed stream, but I thought, I'll leave it as the free speech. But I haven't got much else to say really. But ding dong, the witch is dead. Um, nah, man. I just drop in randomly. I haven't got much to say. Uh, I've you should, you should have seen these. Oh, hang on. So with the whole BitConnect thing, I was actually put on a um. Oh, what's it called? Basically, yeah, man. I'll stop by. I keep seeing it. I have to, yeah, have to drop past. I saw it one time. It looked pretty interesting about healthy food and stuff, healthy living. That's good. Um, yeah, what I was saying. Um, the restitution for the press release from the DOJ from the US. Basically, what happened was with me, I was put on a victim or potential victim list, and but because I didn't follow up on my emails and check the emails, I should have put forward a what was it? I think it was a victim statement or something. And basically, I had tried to ages ago follow up with a law firm, and they were going to do something. I didn't follow through with it, and I didn't think anything of this DOJ, whatever they were doing. Turns out, if I had have put forward a victim statement, I would have been able to get my money back. Oh my god, I would have been able to use that, and I would have bought so much hex. I would have bought some other stuff too, but I couldn't believe it. So the lesson from that is make sure I read thoroughly my emails, and make sure if you're, I guess, going through any process, make sure you read and understand the process. Because I missed out basically because um, I didn't literally didn't fill out a form. I sent them an email back later just saying, what happened to me. It wrecked me. I think I even had a screenshot, this old screenshot, man. I like pulled it up, emailed it through to them, um, and yeah. So it sucks, but it was interesting because it reminds me of. Oh, it doesn't remind me. I saw Hexo stream in the morning, or like for me it was early morning, and I caught on the replay. Basically, there was some announcements from the DOJ and stuff they were saying sounded pretty interesting, um, and in line with I guess their relentlessness. And from what I saw was yeah, it was relentless. They hunted these people down basically, and had I filled out this form, I would have been able to get some money back. But it does suck that they had my name on the actual um, victim or potential victim list, but then I wasn't able to get my money back. I'm like, man, that kind of sucks. I could have used that. So I guess the next thing moving from that is, it's interesting to see, um, I guess, A, how long that process takes, but also um, the, I guess, not flow-on effects, but you had that crypto, you had BitConnect, and you had that scam, and you had these other ones, they were like, um, oh, they were like tumblers and shit, and they basically, I sent money to them and just disappeared. I'm like, oh my god, I want that money back so bad. And then there was these other ones. It was like ETH Connect. I literally sent ETH to this website, an address, and ETH was dirt cheap at the time, and it just gone. It was yeah, kind of sucked. And that was like 2017. Um, yeah, and I put in the email response that I've learned how to like research like crypto and what it is, because since that scam, other scams, multiple scams, and even before that, you think about the Mt. Gox, I guess people like myself who have paid attention to cryptocurrency have noticed a trend. And so we had Mt. Gox, we had the BitConnect. Think about that was listed on CoinMarketCap. That was, I think they got 2.4 billion was the figure or something insane. Only a small fraction of that was even got back and paid out in restitution, I think they called it. Um, and then, so it fleeced everyone. So everyone got fleeced. Early Mt. Gox people fleeced, I guess. And then the people that got fleeced for the BitConnect scam. So that was like not even like was that even cryptocurrency? It was just a pure Ponzi scheme. They were taking people's Bitcoin and claiming they had a whatever the token was. You can look at the facts reported on that event, large world global event. And then moving forward, so everyone got scammed. They're like, nah, never going into cryptocurrency. Then they had the Celsius, the FTX. So early adopters put their cryptocurrency into an exchange called, like Mt. Gox, whatever, scammed, lost their money. New people like myself had a look into cryptocurrency, thought there was some money to be made, and then, so they bought Bitcoin with a credit card, and then they lost their money from an actual Ponzi scheme, an actual scam. And they thought at the time, I thought it was like, I thought this is it. This is like going to be, this is cryptocurrency. This is how it's going to work. This is how everyone's going to change the world. We're all going to get rich. Like everyone who was putting their crypto into the BitConnect system. And then all the other scams around them, like similar ones. Then there was another one. I basically gave up on crypto. I think there was like the plus one, the Chinese one. I have no idea what that one is, but that was like some bullshit. I think that pumped the price of Bitcoin because people were doing the same shit. So people who were, I guess, naive, who thought they could get rich on cryptocurrency, didn't research, didn't understand it, didn't understand blockchain, didn't understand how to um, look into if there was any actual code behind it or like the infamous bot, whatever. And then, so that group of people got scammed. The people lost their cryptocurrency from Mt. Gox. Then later on, everything was like regulated through a centralized exchange. And they then took everyone's money. What they had sponsorship deals, people were promoting it, people were, I don't know if they're making much money on it, but they failed to understand not your keys, not your coins, as some people in this space had been literally preaching, like Richard Hart warned everyone, get your coins off the exchanges because not your keys, not your coins. With Celsius, I did that. Had I not listened, I wouldn't have been able to use any of that. I think it was Bitcoin at the time. I turned that into Hex. Actual DeFi, you know, with a contract that's been triple audited, and you can see on chain what's going on. You can see your wallet addresses. You can see what the code is doing if you're able to read the code. You can see how it's burning it. It's like at the end of it, you're minting it. Yeah, like it's come so far, cryptocurrency, but only for the people who are actually looking into it. Like I guess, we understand um, the things that Hexkins are teaching in terms of how to understand the code is actual cryptocurrency. Um, the other aspects of Hex in terms of how it was all, I'm trying to think of the word, the Howey test comes to mind. Um, Basically, what it's doing, you know? And then there's the whole, uh, what is there paid promoters? It's like, am I a paid promoter? No. It's like, if I was, if I was getting paid, maybe my microphone would be a bit better. Maybe, the quality of content might be better. I don't know. Maybe I'd have a Lambo in the background or something like that. Who knows? But I think in the future I might. We all might. All Hexkins might. Yeah, exactly. I think it's funny, like how far cryptocurrency has come, and I think at the end of every, I don't know what you call it, the next bull run, I think a lot of shit's just gonna be dead in the water. The centralized exchanges are gonna go down. They are going down. They're all going bust. Um, all that's gonna be left is real cryptocurrency, And I think all that's going to be left is people who understand how to use real cryptocurrency, basically DeFi, I would say. And I would hope um, those looking to regulate cryptocurrency would basically understand the difference between a centralized exchange and a DeFi system, a DeFi setup, you know? Um, yeah. Because there's a clear difference. To me, there's a clear difference between Mount Gox and what happened there. There's a clear difference between BitConnect and what happened there. There's a clear difference between Celsius, FTX, and what happened there. And then what? Then what's left? Like what? Hex, Ethereum, Bitcoin. There's not much, you know. Maybe some other stuff built around Hex. Maybe some other stuff arguably built around Ethereum. That's like real DeFi. You can see on chain, you know. But all this like giving up your custody of your assets to other people, I think people are going to understand that's not how you do it, you know. I think the giving what else was I saying? I looked at the thumbs up, it distracted me. Um Dog was going nuts. I think the future of cryptocurrency with the people left is going to be bright. In saying that, I think also there's a lot of institutional money on the sidelines, basically waiting. I don't understand why they don't understand the difference between a centralized exchange and DeFi. You know, I'm curious, very curious. Maybe they do, but I guess it would be hard for them to, you know, put forward a proposal to invest companies' money within something like DeFi. You know, imagine going to a business meeting like, oh, I've got a really good investment. Maybe we should invest in, you know, DeFi product, finished product. Like the only one I can actually think of, like Hex. You know, how are you gonna explain that? But if it does get to the point where that can happen, um, yeah, again, that's the whole like hopium. Oh, maybe the banks are going to come and save us. It's like, hang on. I thought DeFi was an alternative to the bank because the whole fiat system, and you know how it kind of funds endless wars and how it funds, I don't know, at times corrupt governments, corrupt politicians, at, at times bad things in the world. You know, money is the root of all evil. Um, yeah, I thought cryptocurrency was supposed to free people. I thought cryptocurrency was supposed to, you know, give back your time and, you know, maybe allow you to do some research on stuff you really want to research instead of doing the 9 to 5, um, being put through the meat grinder, working to the day you retire, being too old to enjoy your retirement, and then ultimately dying. You know, two things in life that are certain is death and taxes. So I don't think cryptocurrency is going anywhere. I do think it's changing. I do think that we will be able to change the world for the better. But my main concern now is the central bank digital currency because I don't want all that to be left in the cryptocurrency space. I don't want all that's left is um, an argument for a central bank digital currency because I can't see how they're going to do it. Like, how are you going to be? How is government going to say, oh, well, we've protected you from all the scams, which they didn't because everyone got scammed. Um, People that like made money legitimately, legally, lawfully in cryptocurrency was probably DeFi or you know early adapters to various projects or products or coins or tokens, whatever the correct terminology is, and it's crazy. Like, how are they going to tell us all? So, you know how we told you we mandated your, you know, there was going to be 2 tiers of citizens. Well, we're also going to, you know, now limit how you can spend your money. We're gonna close the fence in on you. The final wall of the fence. That's gonna suck. Man, I'm hearing Biden is really wanting to. Okay, cool, cool. Yeah, I'm just sort of, what's the word? Impromptuing at the moment. Haven't got much planned really. Just sort of speaking out loud. And I've heard Biden is just, pushing for this thing called Biden bucks, which is basically a digital currency, central bank digital currency. But how are they going to roll it out? People are going to be like, oh, well, you could go into assets like, I guess, cryptocurrency, assets like, I don't know, precious metals and things like that, rare items, collectibles, businesses. But then it's like, okay, I'm going to do that. I'm saving all my stuff. But then you're going to swap that for the central bank digital currency in the end. So they're probably like, are they going to make the fiat worthless? They're going to make, they're going to make the fiat worthless and make the central bank the program central bank digital currency the only thing you can use. That's going to be a hard sell, man. Like, I guess if enough people push back, like they did in China, where they said, "Nah, man, we're not having these lockdowns anymore. We don't want these lockdowns anymore." And if enough people really push back on those sorts of things globally, where they see causes to be pushed back globally, yeah, yeah, what's happening, man? So I decided to do an impromptu sort of stream, and I just did it from the shed. So I thought, why not? I was gonna do some other stuff, and yeah, but I thought I'm not sure how the YouTube algorithm would like it, and yeah, I got my balding hair. I got my it's like an LED light on a workbench. So I don't know if I'm gonna stream from here from now on for a little bit, or go back to with the glasses and the hat and everything. I don't know. But this way, it's just me talking. It's not what's it called? I haven't got all the articles to link to. Um, just my thoughts, really. Yeah. So back to the Biden bucks, man. Like, I don't like it. I don't like where it's going. I can see it coming next. So it's like, oh, you get a small victory, and like everyone gets distracted, and oh yay, the people that didn't like Ardern is happy that she's left. She's resigning. What if they get someone worse in? What's happening? Yes. Oh, he talking to me. Yeah, chat's confusing. In the bunker. Well, I was gonna like do some reloading on stream, and I was gonna do some cleaning on stream and shit like that. I thought I don't know if the YouTube algorithm will like it, and then I thought it might not be the best look if you like talking about politicians and then other shit, because it might, it could come off. Uh, Someone else could see that and go, oh, this is bad. I'm like, oh, well, I won't push it too hard. I guess I could make a separate video on that. Like just like a general hobby sort of stream, and keep the politics out of it. Um, maybe we'll see how the stream goes. Because I don't mind this because it's like super easy, just set up and just sort of chuck the phone here on my bracket mount, and then just go for it. See what happens. Today, man, did you guys saw those dumps? Oh my god, those dumps. I've stopped like caring about the price. I'm gonna like I said I'm not gonna sell any hex probably. Well, I said I'm not gonna sell any hex. So I won't unless something insane happens, and like it just moonshots and I'll be like, well, maybe I sell a little bit. But then to stop myself from doing that, because I think it was hex.vision, there was like lots of rolling stakes, and it looks like there's an insane amount of stakes on that chart. But then you like zoom in and it's sort of like scattered out. But then it just drops off, man. Like 2024, I think there's a lot less stakes ending in 2025, 26, 27, like going on, and there's just sort of like that chart just sort of drops off. And then you use hex5.io, and then you've got like the T-share rate slowly jumping. Yeah. Yeah, that's right, man. That's what I thought. I'll just do this. It's literally free speech. Just talk about whatever. Here in Australia, disclaimer: we have political free speech, so I can say whatever I want within reason, as long as I'm not like yelling fire in a crowded theatre when there's not one, etc., etc. Again, not legal advice, not any advice, not It's my political free speech. What else? That's about it, man. I just hope they don't come up with these central bank digital currencies. That's gonna like do my head in. I'm guessing if that were to happen, maybe people would protest or lobby against it, because I'm waiting for a lot of people are talking about this as well. A lot of people talking about central bank digital currencies. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. But they're gonna have to roll something out. They can't just just drop it on us. They'll have to have some legislation. They'll have to put something into law, and not just that. The banks are actually. I think I've talked about that. Heaps of other people talked about this too. I think other people are what's it called? Banks themselves are realizing. Hang on, if we have an account with our customer, I mean, with like I'm the bank, you're the customer, or you're the bank, I'm the customer, whatever. And then the central bank digital currency is like a third party, and then I'm the customer with the central bank digital currency, which like the Fed, I guess maybe they're a reserve bank or however they're gonna structure it. What happens to the bank? The banks are not gonna have any input. They're not gonna be able to come in and say, "Oh, here's this mortgage, you know, pay it off with this amount of interest," because you won't have an account with them. You'll have an account with the Reserve Bank or the US Fed or whatever it is. And are they going to be the main financiers of everything? Because they would then have to. Um, I can think of a few things now as I'm talking, but if your money has to be issued by the central bank, you know, aka the central bank digital currency, and then if you have fiat or whatever else, you're gonna have to earn the central bank digital currency. So it's gonna have to be issued to what employers? Is everything gonna be then dictated by the central bank to pay the employees who then pay? Like how is that gonna work? That's gonna be insane. Um, yeah, they're gonna be like, okay, so you're no longer earning from your employer. You work, and then the employer tells the government what you did, and then the central bank digital currency is issued to you on behalf of the government. Like that's insane. That's like ultimate control of every single aspect of life, just on that point alone. So if you can imagine, you know, it's like you deliver stuff, and then the only way the delivery company gets paid is if you deliver things, and then but the only way they get paid then is to report that back to the government, and the government approves of those deliveries, and then they issue the money to them, and then they issue your allowance. That's like that's setting off red flags everywhere. Um, yeah, in my mind anyway, and I think I'm not sure how close it is. I'm hearing a lot of things that might be close, that might not be close, but I'm hearing some shit. It's closer than we all think, and that's freaking me out just a little bit because of what I've witnessed in the last 2 years. I think there was a meme out there, and it was like, um, it's 2023 already, and we're still worried about like 2020 because of the insane shit that took place and the mandates, and now data's coming out suggesting that maybe maybe the mandates were questionable. Department, I think it's the Pentagon in the US, they rolled back the mandates and said, you can come back to work, and they're thinking about maybe even paying the people who were laid off basically, who weren't able to work and were fired. Once they get them back, even with back pay, man, that's what does that mean for the New Zealand Prime Minister? What does that mean for the Canadian Prime Minister? What does that mean for Brandon? At home here in Australia, you don't even hear about the mandates that much anymore. You know, some people are saying, "Oh, they're not talking about it." Some people are saying, "Oh, it's being hidden." Some people are saying, you're hearing all different stories, and depending again what media outlet you listen to, depends on what you think. You know, this is why I encourage strongly we use our own logic, um, fact check everything, and don't always write off one source because what was that? I missed it. Top chat. Hang on. I can barely bring up this chat. People are stupid. They will offer. Oh my god. Yeah. I was talking about that before. Do you remember? It was what was it? There was something else, but there was one, and they're saying, oh, the Canadian Prime Minister, and he's like, this vaccine, it feels so good. It's like a rush. Oh my god. Oh, it just feels so. He's like trying to encourage people to get the jab. And then there was the whole, I can't remember who it was, and he's standing there and he's like eating chips. Oh yeah, this is delicious. And he's eating a burger. He's like, don't think of the vaccine. Think of it as these delicious chips. And I know burgers might not be your thing, but like if you do want a free burger, then don't think of the jab. Just think of the free food. Like, so what? You're bribing us now with who cares about informed consent? We'll just bribe you with like chips and dude, can you imagine that? If everyone gets so brainwashed and they go and they give up their control, they say, all right, we've decided that you voluntarily will give up all your bank accounts to us. You have to sign this over, and then you get your CBDCs. See, that's not going to happen, man. But then I thought lockdowns wouldn't happen, and that happened. And I thought, I thought people would be reasonable with the whole, people who didn't want to get jabbed, and it was like a vicious cult of people who were just like, get it, just get it, you got to get it, because it was like I don't want to call it brainwashing, or like you could go down some really deep, weird rabbit holes of saying how they used programming similar to the SPA's report to influence people's minds and basically say that change your free will. Like, let's change your ability to think and comprehend, and we'll tell you what's happening. And if you don't believe us, then we'll get everyone else to tell you that you're insane. And not just that, and we'll fire you from your job. And not just that, you get you won't be able to travel, and your kids won't be able to go to school, and moving forward, you might have difficulties applying for any other job, and yeah, that to me that sounds like that's never going to happen, Then it did, and I'm sitting back thinking, hang on, what just happened? That really happened? We're gonna be writing reports about this shit in the future. It's gonna be like, did this happen? What? That doesn't sound like freedom. That doesn't sound like people were free to go about their business. And then you see videos on YouTube and Twitter, and people will like never forget. There's people running down the beach, and there's police like chasing them. Now that's a good point. I agree. I think I think that they will target the vulnerable first. Um, there Here in Australia, I think still there is a program, and it's called No Jab No Pay. So if you are on, we have benefits here in Australia, um, and if you meet the requirement, you can get payments. And if you have kids and you on these payments, you might get more or treated differently, depending on your circumstances. Again, not legal advice, but what they did, they said, well, not for the COVID jab. This was just for normal immunization. They said if people aren't going to listen to the medical advice about various immunizations, treatments, then we'll just say you can't get any benefits. So if you had different beliefs, and you, for instance, had a kid, multiple kids, and you didn't want them to get immunized or vaccinated for whatever reason, but you were subject to these payments, you would have to get it done. Otherwise, you couldn't get these payments. You couldn't get these benefits. Yeah. And so I honestly think that if there is a push to push everyone into this sort of funnel everyone into a certain situation, so at the moment, you're probably experiencing higher prices of everything, especially energy. So gas, petrol, fuel, whatever you call it, your electricity bills, your if you can even get it, depending on what country you are in, um, and you're spending all your money on this, and you're spending all your money on the food. What have you got left? And on top of that, some people have mortgages, so they're paying off their house, they have loans, things like that. If that's the case, it starts to get very difficult for you to achieve any sort of freedom. So maybe you want to buy a bigger house and a farm and produce your own produce, and then all of a sudden water becomes more expensive, we got a battery here, and so we basically pay no electricity. Yeah, that's right. Well, imagine even worse. You can only pay in central bank digital currency. And that sounds extreme, but if that was the case in that thought experiment, what would you do? And then, if you had, like I said, we had the battery here, so it was all good. No energy bills, right? In the winter, there's less solar, sort of offsets all the credits. And then we've got gas, and then they spike the price of gas. I'm like, you assholes. So you know that we've got energy like kind of sorted. So then they spike the next thing, the gas. And then what are they doing in the US? They're like banning gas stoves. I'm like, what logic is this? It's insane. But again, I don't live in that country. I don't know what it's doing. Yeah. Oh my god. And it's like, hang on, what is CO2? Oh, it's insane. I keep reading this newsletter as well, and I'm like, why does everything in this newsletter sound exactly like some people call conspiracy theorists? It's getting pretty weird out there. I think the whole internet's freed up a lot of information, but then it gets muddied with lots of. So there'll be really good data, right? I could be spilling really good data or shit data, and in the middle of it, I could say, "Oh, but I think the moon's made of cheese," or I think, I think I think the world's a not flat. I think it's a can or something, and then everything that made sense, that was logical, is discredited automatically. And then you can clip people and say, "Oh look, he said the Earth is made of a can or some random shit," So the internet is a double-edged sword. It can be used for greatness, and it could be used against you in great harm. So don't know, people, what we're gonna do. Say no to the central bank digital currency if you can, because I don't like where it's going. I don't like it at all. I'm just honestly looking at the fuel bill, and I'm thinking, not sorry, the fuel bill, the gas bill. I'm going, why are you raising gas? And then here, I think we still do it. What, we ship it out, we get it, we produce it, then we ship it to Japan and then send it back. I'm like, oh my god, what are we doing? And then on top of that, so locally here we have like state government, and we're having these events, and the events they're all taxpayers' money, right? And then the taxpayers' money, but then they're only a select few people can go to these concerts, and then they're flying in like semi-famous. I've never heard of these people, but they're famous people apparently. And they're coming to our racing events and presenting trophies and shit. And I'm going, hang on. We have people that like are waiting in ambulances. They call it ramping, and they can't even. There's no one to see them. There's no room, or there's no doctor. One of the three situations, maybe all of them all combined. So instead of fixing these problems, they're deciding to improve stadiums and improve entertainment of all things. We just went through. The argument is, to be fair, they need to encourage tourism back to the state. So I'm like, okay. So I'm paying all this money, or I'm paying my taxes, and then that money is being used to fund, in a small part, this treatment of other people, to treat them better than me, and I'm paying for this. That's insane. But meanwhile, we've got people waiting who are getting sick in ramping, and they call it ramping, and no one cares about that. These politicians, man, they're doing my head in. I honestly think I need to sort of get more involved politically somehow, and just point these things out, because it's not just me seeing this, and there's other things that I don't see that you guys might see or someone else might see. I go, yeah, that's a really good point. What the hell? What's this shit going on? What are we spending our money on? Duff, you know. Um, I'll keep it PG rated. But yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, but then the problem is if say you get into that position, you might not be able to change anything anyway. But that I guess would be a problem down the road. But I don't know. Like I said, imagine like I never voted. I don't remember if you voted, you guys, for these lockdowns or the mask mandates or the whatever industry you're in. If you had a chance to vote on it, um, from my experience at my old workplace, it was basically told out of nowhere that it's now mandated. You've got X amount of time to comply, and I'm like, but the whole time the same situation existed without the without the access to any jab, but I was able to work fine. And then your logic now is if you don't get jabbed, it's not safe. I'm going, so what was the conditions before that? Like, but that's trying to talk logic, man. And then you try and tell this to people, and they think you're like some crazy loon bird, or they think maybe you're pushing back against their policy or something, or they think the funny thing is they sometimes people think that you're misinformed when you tell them the truth, and later on it turns out you're correct and they were wrong. And then maybe if they're like the Prime Minister of New Zealand, maybe they leave and resign. You know, maybe I don't know because they haven't got enough fuel left in the tank to go on. Because it's such a hard life being a tyrannical dictator telling everyone there's going to be two classes of citizens. And then it turns out scientific data is suggesting just just maybe, if you're, you know, naturally producing the antibodies, if you get infected or whatever it's called, again, not medical advice, and you're able to overcome that, and then, you know, your immune system builds itself up because that's what the immune system does. That's how we were designed by God or whatever you believe in. But we have an immune system, it's real, trust me, people. And we're getting told, no, you don't have an immune system, you need these jabs. And these jabs make your immune system, over time, apparently, reportedly, scientifically, makes it harder for your immune system to fight it off. Any infections, I'm like, and on top of that, the companies that produce this are making a lot of money. And I'm like, so you guys remember the military industrial complex endless wars, right? And they're using your money to fund these wars. So could there be another um, business model whereby if you are in the business of healing sick people, uh, is it in your best interest to remain profitable to keep those people happy and healthy? You know, because if you're happy, generally you're healthy. If you're unhappy, sometimes you can be, again, not medical advice here, your body can self-destruct. Like if you tell yourself, I'm going to get sick, I'm going to get sick, you could get sick. Sometimes, you know, have you ever been that sick and you're like, nah, I'm not going to be sick. No way, not today. I've got like a big day. I'm going to do this, going to do that, going to do this. And then like somehow magically you just like, you get better. You feel better anyway. But yeah, power of the mind, I don't know. Don't know. Now, what else? What else? Yeah, it was a win. It was definitely a win. Then I would like to know what really happened because she seemed pretty upset, and I can't help but think that she might have been removed because um, the polls, you know, didn't look like she was going to win. Because I know here in our state, basically, dude, how did I vote? I don't even remember. Basically, my thoughts were these people, whichever government was in power that locked us all down, they're out. I don't care what. I don't care who they are. That was my thoughts. Yeah, man. That I from what I saw, Um, there was an article I didn't get around to reading. I should have, and it was just before she resigned, mind you. It was saying basically she's not looking too popular amongst everyone. Everyone basically hates her because the clips appear of her saying that. That's exact. I was saying this the other day. I can't remember who too. I'm thinking, oh, maybe I was thinking in my mind. It was when these politicians randomly resign, it makes you wonder why. Is it because someone's got something on them? Is it because they've made a bad decision? Or is it because, maybe they're just incompetent and they're tired? Maybe that's all it was. But it does make you wonder. Personally, I think that she's watching the data play out. I think that maybe something happened. This could be all wrong. I think maybe something could have happened to someone close to her, some sort of effect of something, um, made it reevaluate. This is complete. I have no knowledge of any of this. I'm just thinking out loud. I'm thinking if that happened, that would make someone second guess their entire treatment of everyone. Or um, alternatively, she was basically told, look, no one likes you because all this media is coming out of you saying different tiers, forcefully vaccinating this, vaccinating that, mandates this, mandates that. Oh, and it turns out this is the actual science because this is the data because people waited and now they've got the scientific data to go by. And I'm being messaged by the missus and she's telling me to hurry up. But yeah, I'll wrap this one up very soon. It's dinner time. I'm having noodles, broccoli, and soy chicken. And I'm gonna put barbecue sauce all over it. Makes it tastier. But yeah, man, I think I think she got told. I think her results in the popularity polls were bad. And on top of that, I think, well, that's a bit contradictory though. If I say I think something happened to her, like something might have happened, it could have affected her decision, um, because something happened close to her circle, maybe a side effect or something, which made her second guess her thoughts. I guess then on top of the whole party saying no, you're out. On top of the whole data coming out saying this is actually what's happening. You all got tricked because you were too scared to be logical. Because everyone was running around crapping their pants, thinking COVID's coming to kill me. Oh my god, what am I gonna do? Ah! I was like, when this happened, I had to like go and calm my parents down. It's like this is not good, man. This is like this. It was fear on another level, and usually when fear's involved, you don't make the best decision unless um, you have some training to how to react correctly to fear. Oh man, the was it where maybe Klaus put the hammer down from working from home because he didn't go to the thing, and they all voted her out. Maybe she wouldn't go along with the central bank digital currency. What's coming next? Nah, I don't know that one. Yeah. But can you imagine, man? Like, and that whole Davos group that concerns me so much. Like, what are they actually doing? How come? Like, why aren't we just chilling in the like? Where's my invite? Where's your invite? It's like, so you're gonna tell me how I'm gonna live, but I have no say over it. But you're gonna fly these politicians, these assholes. I think they're assholes, some of them. Um, they're like worried about the CO2 and they're like flying these big ass jets through. It's like, do you know how much pollution? Do you know how much pollution is spewing out the back of a jet fueled engine versus my little car over here? Like, you do understand there's a different level of pollution. And it's like, but you're telling me that I have to eat the bugs. I have to eat the bugs. Really? I have to eat the bugs while I'm putting around in this car, and you're flying around a private jet with special treatment, with hang on, with an uptick of I'll call them call girls. Apparently, there's an uptick when these things take place. That was a fire. I'm not sure what it is. I'll have to wrap this one up. Otherwise, can you hear? Is that coming through the sound? The dogs barking, or is it sort of being muffled by the distance? I'm not sure. But yeah, man. And I'm like, so you're being flown in private jets and uptick in call girls, um, possibly, yeah, I don't know, girls. We'll say that for the moment. And with and you're making what decisions again? And there's like private agendas. And so, okay, you have a business, and okay, fair enough. If you're not an employee of the business, then you're not going to be sitting at the table on how to run the business. I mean, I can understand that kind of, but then if you get to a large scale, then you're held to account by the shareholders at times. You have to present reports, what you're doing, how you're doing it. Generally, like the end of year, the financial reports. They produce these massive things, and it's like what they've been doing with their money, how they've been doing it. Generally speaking, not like every single detail. So these guys, where am I checking what they're doing? Like that bugs me, man. And that sounds like a conspiracy theory in itself. Like, did you know this group of people that are like getting together and they control the world basically? Then you have Elon Musk tweeting about it. You're like, wait, that's real? What? I thought it was fake. I thought that was fake. Nah, that's not real. And then you like look at it and be like, wow, it's real. And it's like, what can you do about it? Nothing. You can't do nothing about it. That's I'm speechless. I'm gonna be told to eat the bugs. I can't use a petrol car. Gas is gonna be through the roof because you have too many batteries. And what next? They'll charge you for what? Water? What if they charge you? What if they charge you for water and they say water is now extremely expensive and you can't have your own garden and because to try and grow your own food because the food's too expensive. Imagine if you're a farmer. Oh my god, it just gets better and better. It just gets better and better. But yeah, that's about it. That's all I got. I've got a lot more, but I think I'm just going on a random tangent, swimming around in my own mind here. I just want to know what happened to Ardern, and I hope Trudeau gets next. I hope I hope there's some like correlation, some quantum entanglement, and like the reason Ardern has to go because she's not popular, just might be the same reason that what's his name, Trudeau has to go, or he makes a speech crying. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah. But seriously, I actually know more people. Well, a person now. They died from myocarditis. Sorry, they actually died from inflammation and fluid building in the heart, and that sounds to me, as an informed citizenry, a lot like you know, maybe it could have been tied to the side effect. But again, what they actually put the cause of death, it's unclear. Actually, I don't know. I didn't see the death certificate. Plus, I'm a doctor, so I can't talk about it. But I just wonder, man. Even my old man, he was diagnosed with cancer only because he was pushing to be screened in a certain way, and it was after he took the jab, and he was fine before that. And I'm like, how do I explain to him that maybe it could be correlated without sounding absolutely insane? But now more data's coming out, and people are saying though it's fair enough. It could just be more coverage. Maybe it's not related at all, but all of a sudden there's a hashtag died suddenly. Yeah, yeah. So if we can be tested on like that in that manner for profit for a company, who says a central bank digital currency isn't possible? I guess you can be alert about it and try and push back as hard as you can politically, legally, and lawfully. And then look what happened to the Canadian truckers. That was disgusting. How is Trudeau? Oh, the vaccine feels so good. I feel like I'm getting high off this vaccine. Like, but people that didn't analyze that thought that was real, thought he was right, thought that it's crazy. Like I said, Mexicans are the best because regardless of your political leanings, doesn't matter. We generally all love one another, you know. Together, I think we're stronger. And regardless if you completely disagree with what I say, or you agree with what I say, or whatever, um, we have one common bond, I think, which is Hex, which I think in the future will allow us to be financially free. So, based on that, I think that is a good thing. It will allow us to free up time to research, to make videos like this. Just joined the stream, but yeah, COVID is bad. Oh, that's bad to hear, man. Like, yeah, sorry to hear that. But it's yeah. I just wonder what the going back on that topic. I guess it's a sensitive topic. When yeah, what are the long term effects going to be? We're not going to be seeing this for a while now because, like I said, we didn't have no one had the data. Well, apparently Pfizer had the data. They released some of it later, and they said, "Oh, by the way, we're finding some correlation between this certain type of mRNA vaccine and mice like dying of heart attacks. I think it was, but you can look at that up. Yeah, I I expressed my concerns. I expressed that I'm not doing it. I expressed you're free to do what you want. Everyone has informed consent, and I got told by the masses just to get it, just to get it, just to get it. Then I got fired, and then on top of that, that was the cherry on top. I was like, that's unbelievable, and I never went around. I couldn't even make videos about it because as soon as you made videos, man, you have like the Stasi COVID police that rock up on your place, be going, "What are you streaming about this shit for?" Oh, you're like trying to um, incite, but you don't know what they could say. And I was like, this is like insane. Like I could see a possible risk if you were openly making content too much against the jab that you could be labeled some crazy person. Um, but then I guess if you did it in a certain way which aged well and pointed out informed consent and is there data to back all this up, uh, you were able to sort of hold your own in a conversation, although most likely people just thought you were a crazy person and they thought you were anti-vaxxer and they probably thought um, maybe they thought what you were listening to was the incorrect thing to listen to because you should have been listening to the message. And I never thought that COVID wasn't real. I actually thought it was extremely worrisome to start off with. And I think that I fell for the trick that everyone fell for. There was footage that came out of China from memory, and it was like the freakiest thing you could see, and people thought this was real. It later came out that it was actually propaganda to provoke feelings within you, to make you scared and extremely worried. Um, it worked quite successfully, and then saying that the lie spreads around the world before the truth has a chance to put its pants on, or whatever that is. That's basically what I think happened. And I think I tried to tell people as well that, so 2 months here, while that was going on in my mind, that this virus is going to come and kill us all, I was trying to think it through logically, like, where did this come from? And, it kind of all pointed towards Wuhan, the biosecurity lab there, the biosecurity lab level 4, and their bad conditions that they previously have had, leaks and stuff like that, as opposed to the bat soup. But anyway, I won't go over this topic again. It's been done to death. Basically, in closing, I can take my tinfoil hat off. Can you take your spike proteins out? That's about it. Because don't want to go over that whole like, oh, I just pray that people, um, who are sick get better. I pray that humanity doesn't fall to something else. I'm gonna go. She's going to kill me.